Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tammy and today I'm going to talk to you about my perfume wish list. And I want to know what's on your perfume wish list. So share that down in the comments and let's go. So I absolutely love buying perfume samples, and a lot of the times I don't really care for what I smell. Even when I expect that I'm going to like something, I end up like, I don't really like that. It's not great. It's not the best thing I've ever smelled. But then there are those rare samples. I would say 1 out of every maybe 50 samples that I get, and I do get a lot of samples. But you just get those special ones that you're like, okay, this is different, this is special, this is right up my alley. And those are the ones that are on my wish list. I like to buy samples from niche brands because I feel like a lot of times, like the really inexpensive ones, I'm willing to blind buy on Fragrance Net or fragrancebuy.ca or whatever. And usually I really study the notes and I figure out if I'm going to like it, and I read people's reviews, and I kind of know by now how to, I don't know, decipher the reviews and compare them against each other and what I already know that I like. And I'm able to be quite successful with my blind buys. But when it comes to niche, I'm not going to blind buy. Can I afford the niche perfumes? Yes. But there's some sort of mental block that I have with spending that kind of money on a bottle of perfume. I don't have any problem with anyone else doing it, but when it comes to me, even though I can afford it, I just have this mental block, and I'm like, no, I can't spend that much on a perfume. But as I am sampling more and more, and as I said, I especially sample niche, I'm finding that I want to narrow it down and find that special one from maybe each brand that I really want, and I'll have something really special, you know what I mean? I have purchased one Xerjoff. I got it for $150 on fragrancebuy.ca, and that was amazing. And one of the samples that I'm about to tell you about, I wish I had purchased on Fragrance Buy. That was also around $150, and I should have just gone for it. I should have just bit the bullet and gotten it, because now that's not available on there anymore. So yeah, I'm ready to break into the world of niche. I do have a few. I do have as I mentioned, I have a Xerjoff. I have an Electimus perfume. That's Mercurial Cashmere. That was a love at first sniff with the samples, and I went ahead and purchased that one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into my wish list and tell you what what will be maybe the next purchases that I end up getting over the next year or two, hopefully. So the first category is the sexiest, most sensual perfumes that I've smelled in my sampling over the past year or two. And these, all three are on my wish list, but I feel like I could narrow it down to one. The first one is New York Nights by Bond No. 9. I absolutely love this. Now, people say that this smells like banana bread to them. I don't really get that. Actually, I'm just noticing for the first time, yeah, maybe I do get that. But to me, I get more of the caramel with earthy notes. It's caramel sweetness. Some people know about me that I don't like anything too sweet, especially not like candy sweet with nothing to balance it. But caramel sweetness, when it has this amount of sexy florals, and oh my word, so this is the one that I was telling you about that I wish I had bought it on fragrancebuy.ca. It was on there for $149 for the 50 ml, and I don't need anything more than a 50 ml. I don't even know if Bond No. 9 does travel sizes. Probably not. The prices of that brand, to me, is so outrageous. It's not that I couldn't do it. It's just that it's outrageous to my mind. Like, I can't get it through my brain. You know what I mean? So of course I am on the waiting list. I've entered my email in so that if it ever comes back into stock on there, I'm going to snatch it up. But I don't know. It's kind of neck and neck with these other two that I'm about to mention. One of them is Rosendo Mateu No. 6. Did you think I was going to say number 5? No, I'm not a fan of that. I don't really like the ambers that are really heavy in the vanilla and spices. To me, they're so boring. I just don't really love them. Like Baby Cat and Ombre Magique by Mizensir, and those, they're okay. Like, and Rosendo Mateu No. 5, like, just not my vibe. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm sure they smell amazing on you if you love them, but number 6 is, I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm just like talking off the top of my head here, but this, I'm just gonna spray a little bit on because I don't have anything on anywhere today. I had a shower this morning and I put on my, you know, lotion and, oh yeah. Oh, it's like jasmine, I think. And it dries down even sweeter and sexier. Anyway, I just remember that I really love this one. It's on my wish list. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I can dream about it and that's almost just as fun. And oh my gosh, I have such a little amount left in my sample. That's sad. But I have a third one in the sensual sexy category, and to me they are perfumes that are almost elusive. Like, you smell it, and if you smelled it on someone, you'd be like, come back. Like, just, you know, those kind of like irreplaceable, like one of a kind perfumes. So the third one of this category, just a second. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, it is Sensual Orchid by LM Parfums, and I think is Laurent Maison or something like that is the full name. This, oh my word. This, I sprayed it myself once to go to the grocery store, and this is also dangerously low, my sample. There is not a lot left in that. I'm not sure if that's gonna come across through the video. I'm gonna actually spray this one too. Oh, I can't believe I'm wasting it. I'm not wasting it. It's never a waste. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. It's just so different. It's so special. It's so, like, it's a sexy, sweet floral. It's not a fruity floral to me. It's a sexy, deep, oh, I don't even know. Oh, you guys are just gonna love my explanations. I'm brilliant when it comes to explaining perfumes. No, I'm getting better, but I'm a little bit unprepared for this video. I wanted to just film because it took me weeks and weeks to do my previous video, my beach video. That just took me so long, and it was worth it, and I had fun and I loved making it, but it just kind of took away a lot of my time, and summer is busy anyway. And summer is a super hard time for me. I have the anniversary of my daughter's death, and I also have her birthday coming up in a week or so. And let me see, she would be 27 this year. Yes, because she died when she was 17, but she was almost 18. So it was 9 years ago. So it's a really hard time. Summer's a really hard time for me. And, but perfume videos, watching other people's perfume videos brings me so much comfort. And I hope that my videos, this is great. I hope my videos can help people and bring them some comfort, even if I'm not a brilliant genius when it comes to describing perfumes. Well, I'm not. But I did have a comment this week where someone said that they found my videos very comforting, and that really meant the world to me, because I have found a lot of comfort in watching perfume videos and smelling perfumes, playing around with perfumes, buying samples especially. I'm a real sampleaholic. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, and that is gorgeous too. When I don't think I finished my story. I gotta get myself together here. I don't think I finished my story about Sensual Orchid by Perfumes. Yeah, I wore this to the grocery store this winter. I sprayed it just on the sides of my neck, sort of on my winter coat. It was like a wool coat. Well, probably not real wool, but I wore it to the grocery store and it made grocery shopping the most elevated experience. I just felt like I was in, you know, a Trader Joe's or like a fancy grocery store like that we don't have around here. I felt like I was just a sophisticated businesswoman or something, and I was stopping and getting groceries on my way home from the office. And I don't know, it was like, but I felt like the sexiest woman alive wearing this Sensual Orchid by Perfumes. It's definitely on my wish list, but it's pretty expensive. But anyway, it's still on my wish list. And number 6, and then of course, New York Nights. Those are my 3, like, sex bomb. Like, I just want to be the woman that would wear those perfumes. And I am, because I have a sample. I am wearing them, technically. I just don't have a full bottle yet on my wish list. So, next category. I mentioned in a previous video that something has happened to me in my perfume journey, and I'm super excited about it. And it's that I have fallen in love with the note of rose. I can't believe it. I started out just thinking it was so old lady, it was so powdery, it was like peppery, spicy, unsweet, like not my vibe. Because I do like sweetness, just not too much sweetness. Anyway, but I have just been loving rose, and I've purchased some really nice rose perfumes. I have a travel size of Fenty. I wore it 2 days ago. I sprayed 4 sprays and it performed all day, and I loved it. I can't even believe that I could actually love rose that much. And Fenty is not a crowd-pleasing scent. Like, I don't feel like it's overwhelmingly like an easy reach, and people don't like tend to necessarily love it. You know what I mean? But I love it. And then I'm just gonna take a side trip here over to tell you about C Passion. I almost put this on my wish list. The other day, I wore this. I put it on in the evening, and I just sprayed a few sprays, and I was sitting around just watching perfume videos, probably, and I was enjoying the heck out of this. Like, I was like catching these whiffs on myself, and I was like, it's not as sweet as I remember. This has got a little more soapy freshness and a little more sophistication and elegance. It's not just sweet. So I almost put this on my wish list, even though this is an oldie and everything. This is not the Intense. This is the original C Passion. Then I wore this the next day. I almost went ahead and clicked to try to find a good price and buy it. But I wore it the next day and I didn't get the same experience. I was like, oh, I'm just getting the sweetness again. It's too sweet. What is happening? And then I remembered that was the day I wore Fenty. And the Fenty was still pretty strong. And it's almost like, even though I put this on maybe 6-8 hours later after the Fenty, this still like melded together with the Fenty to give me the experience. So I think that this would be a great layering combo if you have Fenty, or if you have another rose that you don't find sweet enough, like if you have one of the Nina Ricci L'Extase. I always forget which is which, but like the black bottle, for example, is not very sweet to my nose, but you could layer this with it. So if you already have C Passion, I recommend layering it with your perfumes that aren't sweet enough and see what you come up with, especially rose ones. Maybe there's rose in this. I bet you there is. I don't really know. I'm not a professional. Don't get mad at me. But back to my rose wish list. So I have been purchasing more rose fragrances, as I mentioned, and I guess that's where I got sidetracked, as I was trying to remember. Like, I have the Zara one. What is that? Rose Gourmand. And anyways, I've purchased, I'm starting to branch out and purchase rose perfumes, but I really want a niche statement making rose perfume. And the two that are on the top of my wish list right now are MFK Oud Satin Mood. Now, what is left in this has turned into a syrup. It is so, can you see how slow the liquid in that pours? It's like a syrup. It's like maple syrup. Oh my word, this one is a really sexy, sweet rose. Like I said, I'm unprepared. I don't have notes, so you probably have heard this described somewhere else. Go put it in the search bar and hear somebody else describe it. I'm just telling you what's on my wish list. But this is a really sexy rose that is very sweet and jammy, and I have worn this, like one time I sat outdoors to read, like I think it was in March, it was pretty cold out, and this just enveloped me in a really warm, sexy rose. I would only probably get a small bottle of this. I think they have like the little 30 mils. That's probably what I would go for. But the other one on my list is Thameen. I don't know if it's Thameen or Thameen. I always call it Thameen Peregrina. And this is a beautiful rose. I wore this on a dinner cruise when we went to California. I don't think I have a whole lot left in this. Oh yeah, I have quite a bit. This takes a few minutes to warm up to the smell that I have in my mind. Everybody seems to say that Peregrina has really good performance on them. Now, on me, on the dinner cruise, it was an outdoor, well, not outdoor, like there was a roof and there were like plastic on the sides for if it got windy or anything, but we went through like the San Diego harbor and it was really nice. And this was nice. It really fit the whole vibe of the dinner cruise. It just made me feel really elegant, and it made me feel like, I don't know, it just elevates your experience to wear a perfume like this. This is definitely on my wish list. Those are the two top rose perfumes on my wish list that I have smelled. Now there is a rose perfume on my wish list I will tell you at the end of this video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a few perfumes that I have not smelled yet that are still on my wish list, even though I haven't smelled them. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, these are the top two rose ones that I have smelled that are on my wish list. Also, I should have included This Is Us by Zadig and Voltaire in my first category, like the sensual, sexy category. My husband wore this year in Bahamas. When I was wearing Oh La La by Theo Cabanel, he was wearing This Is Us by Zadig and Voltaire. And I love that on him so much. That's on my wish list to buy for him. And I would wear it too. But that's got the same, actually it got a similarity to Oh La La. Like it has that really pretty sandalwood. It gave me a tiny bit of like licorice, but a very soft, like sweet, not overpowering licorice, like a faint licorice smell. This is really good. This is also on my wish list. I forgot to mention this one. Also, update from my sample sniff #1 video, Oud for Greatness by Initio Parfums. I didn't even dare try it that day. If you remember, I had a headache, and I do have a slight headache today. This is what happens in your certain time of life. I just get a lot of headaches. Anyway, I did try it a few days later, and I forgot to update you. In my sample sniff #2 video, I was updating about all the samples that I had smelled in part 1, and I forgot to update you on Oud for Greatness, and I like it quite a bit. I thought it was really nice. Like I could tell it was a gorgeous, well done perfume. Am I quite ready for it? Maybe not yet, but I just wanted to update you on that too. Also, Amber Musk d'Or by Erin. That's kind of on my wish list too, but these are so, oh my gosh, so pricey. I think the Erin perfumes that have d'Or at the end, like I think that there's like Tangier Vanille, d'Or, the ones that are of gold, which is what d'Or means in French, is of gold. Yeah, I think the bottles must be made of gold because I think the prices are even higher. But I still love it, and it's still on my wish list. I mean, can you imagine if I had it? So fun. I actually updated about this in sample sniff #2 and how I'd worn it to bed one night, and how like it had that oud, but it was very soft oud, and it's a really pretty sexy smell. Well, anyway, on to the next one. There is one perfume that I have put on my wish list, and I have taken it off my wish list, and I've put it on and I've taken it off because I have a different experience every time I wear it. I can tell it's beautiful, but there's something that goes funny in it every once in a while on me. This is Très Chere by Mizensir. I love it in a way. I really love it. It's vanilla. It has a slight saltiness to it, so you can tell it'll be right up my alley. If you know me, if you watch my videos, you know I like that kind of smell. I always love it in the opening. Every once in a while, there's something that happens on my skin over time that gets just a really weird smell. Not even a smell I can describe, but I end up taking it right back off my wish list again. And it's on again, off again. I don't know. What do you think? Have you tried this? Do you like it? Does it go weird on your skin? Or is it just great? It's also very faint. It'd be hard for me to spend a lot of money on a perfume that's kind of faint and doesn't project and perform all that well. Although, like, performance is not the most important thing about a perfume to me. The way it smells is the most important thing, and it always will be. But still, it's kind of nice when you pay a lot of money, like, if it will perform well. It's kind of nice, you know? Anyway, I'm undecided about Très Chere, whether it's even on my wish list or not. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, on to the next category. This is the more fresh and clean category, and I have 3 on my wish list in this category. The first one is Nothing But Sea and Sky by Nuit Nomade. This is a sample that I got from my dear friend Chris from the Perfume Nest. She sent me a bunch of samples quite a while ago, and I mean, that meant the world to me. I appreciated that so much because a lot of them were not samples that were easy to access, like some of the Michael Kors, like the shimmer series, or the like Starlight Shimmer and Twilight Shimmer, and those. Like, she gave me a couple of those samples, and I actually ended up purchasing which one did I purchase? Starlight Shimmer. It was Starlight Shimmer that I purchased, and that's another rose one that I fell in love with. That was kind of the beginning of my rose journey, so thank you, Chris. But she had given me a sample of Nothing But Sea and Sky, which I knew would be definitely my vibe. And it's definitely on my wish list. This is such a pretty, soft, clean sandalwood scent. It is stunning. It has pretty much everything I love in a perfume. It has musk, sandalwood, and it has, I think, bergamot or something, like very bright and uplifting. It is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Chris. This is definitely on my wish list. And another one that makes me think of my friend Chris is Bal d'Afrique. This is, I will have Bal d'Afrique someday. I will have this because, oh my word, I adore this scent. The only reason I don't have it yet is because I have a perfume by Clean called Warm Cashmere that is pretty much a dupe for this. They're so similar. It's been quite a while since I compared them side by side on one hand and the other. But I just remember thinking, like, I don't know how you could tell these two apart unless you were a trained perfumer. I don't know how you could tell them apart. So for right now, I have Warm Cashmere. I just have a little, I think 25 or 30 ml bottle of Warm Cashmere by Clean. And it's so similar to this. And I also have the oil perfumery version of Bal d'Afrique. It's gorgeous. I will definitely someday have the OG. Like, I'll have a real bottle of Byredo Bal d'Afrique. It will be happening. It is so soft and sensual but bright and happy. It's lemon with gorgeous florals and some beautiful base notes. I think it has sandalwood. I know it has vetiver. I don't even know what vetiver actually smells like, but I must like it. Oh, I love Bal d'Afrique. It is a gentle, like, summery, fresh, but it smells good. It smells really good. And I remember first hearing about this from Chris when I first started watching her, and that is why I bought a sample. And anyways, I love this. It is fresh and clean, and it's number 2 on my fresh and clean wish list. And the third one on my fresh and clean wish list is The Ghost in the Shell by Etat Libre d'Orange, or Aldo, whatever you want to call it. Call it by the abbreviation, it's easier. I also should have bought this when I saw it on fragrancebuy.ca for, oh my word, I think it was maybe a 30 ml and it was like 50, 60 or $70. And I still, like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, this would probably be third out of these 3 fresh ones. Like, it would be the last one I would get out of all of those. But there's something about it that is so cool. I really love it. And it is kind of cooling, actually. It's a very fresh, clean, soapy, aquatic, ozonic type of fragrance. It is beyond fresh and clean. It's really pretty, and I love the bottle. The bottle is really cute, and that's one of the reasons I really want it, besides the fact that it smells so unique. I feel like other people, if they describe this, they could maybe call it like almost like a cheap laundry detergent kind of smell. Like, it smells a little bit like blue crystals a little bit. But I really like it. Oh, my sample's getting pretty low. All of my samples are getting pretty low because these are my favorite. Like, these are top on my wish list. I have thousands. I don't think I am exaggerating when I say I have thousands of samples, and I am sharing with you like the top ones I have sampled that are on my wish list. And anyways, this one is really fresh, really clean, and really unique. It kind of reminds me of, is it 724? Is that the name of the MFK one that came out fairly recently? It reminds me slightly of that. It reminds me slightly of Muse by Zarco Perfumes. And let me see. I also have another sample that I just ordered the other night, so it'll probably get to me in a couple weeks, from Nuit Nomade, and that was sun bleached. And by the descriptions of that I've read, I feel like it will remind me slightly of the Ghost in the Shell. So we'll see. But anyway, have you guys tried this one? Let me know. What do you think? So the last category of perfumes that are on my wish list are perfumes that I have not smelled yet, but they're still on my wish list. And first is Hufflepuff by House of Sillage. There's something about when I hear that described, Chris at the Perfume Nest has described it in such a way that I'm just like, I need it. I'm a Hufflepuff, like that's my house. And can't you tell? Like, wouldn't you have put me as a Hufflepuff? I mean, I don't know, I feel like I come across even as a Hufflepuff. I am. I'm a Hufflepuff. And the way she describes it, like with the lemon and the vanilla, oh my word, those florals, like there's coconut, there's peach, like I just want that perfume, even though I've never smelled it. And if I were to buy any from the House of Sillage, that's probably the one I would choose. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I kind of want to have like my top favorite of each niche brand and own one of them. I don't care about having a whole collection of them. Maybe I will. I'm always evolving on my perfume journey. You watch me eat my words, I'd be like, I need everyone in this house. But you know, Hufflepuff is the one I would choose if I was to get any House of Sillage one, I think. Now, I'm going to be getting a few decants. I think I have some in my queue on Scentbird. I think Whispers of Truth, maybe I have in my queue. I'm not really quite sure, but anyway, if you've smelled Hufflepuff, do you think it would be too sweet for me? Or do you think there's enough lemon and peach and like florals in it to balance it out? I don't know, I think there would be. Oh, I get right excited when I talk about that perfume. So that's on my wish list, even though I've never smelled it. Number 2 is Exalté by Funmi Monet. I have followed her on TikTok for a long time. I mean, I want to say a couple years or more. She was one of the first perfume people I followed on TikTok. And I remember being so excited when she came out with her own perfume. Now, it is in like more of the niche prices. And the only thing is I've never been able to find a sample of it. But I think that they sell maybe a 30 ml or some smaller size, maybe a travel size, a 10 ml. I'm not exactly sure. I should have been more prepared for this video, but I just wanted to film. But I love Funmi, and she is, I don't know, I've just looked up to her. She has amazing taste. She is just no nonsense. I absolutely love her. And I just feel like it would be the perfect rose perfume since I'm getting into rose perfumes, and I'm just enthralled with them right now. I'm just like in love with them. I went from like not liking them at all to skyrocketing all the way up to love, love, love. And I just feel like Exalté would be the perfect, like I feel like it has that DNA of like the Roses Vanille and Like, I'm not saying it's like those, but I feel like it's in that family, maybe in the same family as Peregrina by Thameen. And I don't know, I want to smell it so bad. I want to have it so bad. Anyways, it's on my wish list. We'll see. If I ever get it, I'll let you know. And last but not least, I have saved this perfume to the end. I'm sorry. Okay. Jeez Louise. So last but not least, there's a perfume on my wish list by Nobile 1942, and it is called La Danza Delle Libellule, which means the dance of the dragonflies. It's hard for me to even talk about this, but I'll just tell you a little bit of the background of why this perfume is on my wish list. If you don't like hearing people's stories, and you can just, now you know, that's the end. That's the last one I'm going to talk about, so you can sign off. Thank you for joining me. Bye. But if you want to know the reason this is on my wish list, I just want to give you a little bit of a backstory. First of all, I just want to talk about the way it smells. I don't know how it smells, but it sounds so pretty. And I feel like, even though I don't like cinnamon, I feel like the cinnamon is really toned down enough in this. I feel like it's going to be more of the apple that comes through and more of the vanilla and the coconut and the musk, at least in my dreams. Those are the notes that come through more. So I just want to explain to you why this perfume is so strong in my heart for a perfume that I would want to try. So the summer that my daughter passed away, her best friend's mom, she sent us a poem. It was the story of the dragonfly. So it was about little water beetles that lived under the water, and every once in a while someone would climb up the stem of the lily pad and they would never return, and the whole community of water beetles would be so sad. So one water beetle decided when it was his turn to climb up the stem of the lily pad, he was going to come back and tell everybody what was on the other side of the lily pad. And one day he knew that it was his time, so he climbed up the stem of the lily pad, he got onto the lily pad, he fell asleep, and when he woke up, he was a dragonfly, and he was flying all around his world. He was flying and exploring a whole new world, seeing everything different, because he had only ever lived under the water. But through the reflection of the pond, he saw his family down there, and they were sad. So he said, I'm gonna go down and I'm going to tell my family how wonderful it is up here, how wonderful this world is. But when he tried to get into the water, he couldn't get into the water because he had a new form. He had a new body, and he couldn't get back down to the water to tell his family that it was a beautiful world. And he was loving his new life. And he knew that someday they would join him up there. So, you know, it's a very symbolic story. And you get the meaning of when we cross over to the other side, it's a beautiful world. It's a wonderful life over there, wherever there is. And that our loved ones, when they pass on, they're happy and they just can't get back to tell us how wonderful it is because they have a new form. So the whole island began seeing dragonflies that whole summer. Everywhere everyone went, there were dragonflies everywhere. Every time I went outside, there was a dragonfly. Sometimes they would land on you. And it was like my daughter was like saying, yes, it's true. You know, it's a wonderful life. Now where I am, it's beautiful. And people were getting memorial tattoos that were dragonflies, and dragonflies were just what she was all about. And my sister had this beautiful thing happen to her where when this dragonfly, you know, phenomenon was going on with all of her loved ones, my sister was having a really hard time, and she looked out the window and she saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dragonflies, and she ran outside, and these dragonflies were just flying all around her and just dipping and soaring and spinning and just twirling all around her. And she said, Tammy, it was like a dragonfly ballet. And the funny thing about that is that a couple weeks after my daughter died, her co-worker, my daughter used to work across the street at the Grandma Aunt Art Gallery, and her co-worker came over and brought us some papers that Danielle had just doodled, and she had doodled a picture of a dragonfly, and underneath it she had written Dragonfly Ballet. So Lori had known that she had drawn this picture, but when she was describing to me her experience with the dancing dragonflies all around her, she kind of had forgotten about it. So she said it was almost like and we said it at the same time, like a dragonfly ballet. When I found out there was a perfume called the Dance of the Dragonflies, I thought, wow, I should probably have that. So now you can see why it's on my wish list. And I might even cut this all out. I'm not sure, because I'm sorry to get all emotional, and I don't know if it makes people uncomfortable or not. So I might not even put that part in. I can edit like a whiz. Editing, I'm good at. Filming, I'm not so sure yet, but editing, yes, I can edit that right out. So you might get to see it and you might not. It takes a lot of courage for me to put on these emotional parts in my videos, but if it can help someone, that's what matters. So I still have that drawing, of course. I'm not going to throw it away. And the funny thing is, my daughter was brilliant, the valedictorian of her graduating class, and she spelled ballet B-A-L-E-T. She left out an L, and I was like, Danny, really? Couldn't even spell ballet. That's hilarious. I sometimes tease her about that in my mind. But anyways, that was just an incredible experience. The fact that my sister experienced that dragonfly ballet, and we said that at the same time, it was like almost like a dragonfly ballet, because we both knew about the drawing that she had done. And hopefully I can pop up a picture of it to show you. It's just a very simple little doodle that she did, and you'll see that she misspelled it, which is cute. But anyways, yeah, the first time, and I think it was Chris also from the Perfume Nest, that was the first one I ever heard talk about La Danza Delle Libellule. Very hard to say. It's really hard to say, but I kind of have worked on it a little bit. La Danza Delle Libellule. I believe that's how it's pronounced. But I remember the first time that I heard Chris mention that, I was like, wow. I'm pretty sure I need to have that, and I'm pretty sure that it's meant to be for me to have it. So that's definitely on my wish list, and I will have that someday. But thank you so much for joining me. I've got to blow my nose because I've been crying my head off. Just a sec. I have to tell you about the last, okay. I also want to mention in sample sniff number 2, I mentioned at the end of that I had another whole batch of samples, and I probably won't make a whole video on that, but I just want to tell you that there's one sample that I got in that order that I got from thescented.ca. That's Yana here on YouTube, The Scented. Anyways, let me just recreate for you how fast I ordered this after smelling it. Now this will be my cell phone. This is the actual sample that I got. I'm just gonna pretend to spray it. This is a recreation. Ready? Order. That's how fast. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I knew from first spray that I loved. Oh, I didn't even tell you what it was. Oh, my soul. This is Narciso Rodriguez EDP Cristal. This is so pretty. Oh my word, you guys. This actually reminds me of Lancome Idole, but with the Narciso musk in it. That's what it is like. I like Idole, but not enough to get it. But when I smelled this, and that musk, like in the crook of my arm, like the next morning, was the most glorious, most beautiful, sweet, clean musk. Oh my word. I have the full bottle in my collection now. I actually made a little, I think I made a little Instagram reel about it. Maybe even a YouTube short about it. It's kind of my Barbie perfume. That's what I call it, because it is so feminine. It's so pretty. well, there's lots of notes, but just think of rose and musk. Just the prettiest musk you could ever imagine. The rose is not overpowering. I think there's orange blossom and other florals in it that just, it's so feminine, it's so pretty. It was the fastest I've ever ordered a full bottle after sampling. That recreation was a little bit of exaggeration, but that's basically it. It was spray, then it was order. I don't ever want to miss out on this. I need it. Oops, I need it in my life. So those are all the perfumes on my wish list currently. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. I really appreciate you being here and spending this time with me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.